this week I started a Temu law school with a bunch of
Ooh.
courses for lawyers that like how to piss off the judge in 3 seconds or less. Like we had the chat come up with a bunch of names. So now we're gonna
Ooh.
figure out lawyers to teach them.
Mm.
Like David Gingras would be able to teach, like, how
Oh,
not to tell if you're pregnant.
that's the masterclass. I mean, but apparently I ordered something a few streams ago. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but it might be
You sound
one
like
of a few
me.
things. What I'm worried about is that the package, because I only ordered, well, I only. Drunk me likes to buy sober me presents. And sometimes it gets weird. Well, let's see. What the fuck is this?
Well, I mean, you're not looking at pink wigs, so.
Oh,
I think a pink wig would be fun.
Well, I was looking. I have like one, but I've worn
hey!
it a lot for this trial, so.
It is my American. Hey!
Ooh.
Huh?
Nice.
But it was I couldn't find a shirt that said First Amendment, so second is close enough. It will
Second
piss
works.
off. It will piss off enough people.
Speaking of that, I have to see if my stream from today got demonetized because I had a little demonstrative that I had to work out. Let's see. We're still good.
I know. I'm
I think.
constantly shocked when some of my streams don't get.
Well, we were talking Tyler Robinson. So like when it came to the bullet, it didn't match headlines. I had the ATF report, but we were comparing. I have a couple of situations.
Freedom seeds.
Freedom seeds. I have one that's the same diameter, and I have one that, like, I don't have the exact caliber, but I have. This is my favorite, and this is my friend.
I guess
Like,
my problem with that is that any sort of slug that goes through a lot of different material is going to be different. It's going to be fragmented, and no shit, they're not going to. First of all, ballistics is bullshit. Second of all, ballistics that have gone through a bunch of stuff.
is in 5 pieces. The projectile was in 5 pieces. So, like, not being able to match it to an exact rifle, like, that's not an exact science anyway, let alone.
That's putting it nicely. Now, tool mark analysis is a subjective opinion by a person who have done it a lot, but it's not a science. I can go as far as, yeah, you can exclude, but the moment they try to include, nah, because then they have to have. Or really, what's the serial number on that gun? Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, have you tested the 10 before and the 10 after? No, then you don't fucking know.
Yeah, and I think that is the big problem is that when you do start getting into trials, you kind of come in with that CSI or FBI files, forensic files like, oh, this is just like a fingerprint. And it's not until you really start digging down, and if you're curious enough to follow different opinions, that you learn, oh my goodness, there's a lot of subjectivity to this when I thought it was basically like, one pew pew and that you basically can match the bullet back like a person.
My demonstratives were more to show how thin, like, this projectile is bigger than the projectile from 30-06, and look how small that is split into 5 pieces. Now try to put that back together and say it came from one. And inconclusive does not mean does not match. There's that issue as well.
And here's the problem. If they can do metallurgical, look, metal and logical, I cannot put them together because my brain doesn't work. But if they can pull and, there are specific elements and there usually is a bit of randomness or different in different batches, they could do that. But it is very misleading and I don't trust Kathy Nestor to do a good job. And I say that because I don't want this to become, if she does a terrible job, then it's never going to get out of conspiracy land.
She's not even the worst one. She's not even the worst one. They are still arguing before a preliminary hearing. They are arguing having all of the discovery. And it's like, I have a theory. They are trying to take advantage of the fact that a lot of people who are interested in this trial are, one, political commentators who are wildly one side or the other, for better or for worse, and two, are not trial watchers or generally have any connection to the legal world and have no idea how a trial works. So they're listening to the defense. One side is listening to the prosecution, and they're like, the prosecution's got everything right. The other side is listening to the defense and is like, see, the bullets don't match. And it's like, that's not even what the prosecution said.
Well, no, and a lot of people that aren't watching trials, things that are normal, procedural, kind of perfunctory, like Tyler Robinson getting to wear civilian clothes. They're like, judge letting the defense walk all over him. And it's like, no, these are fairly standard things. If you don't know stuff about trials, there are plenty of law nerds that would love to tell you, but don't put out there that the judge is siding with this and start stoking all of this.
Yeah, some arguments in court, in hearings, you once in a while hear the defense say, for the sake of argument, let's say this happened, then our argument will be this. And then you see the headlines, defense admits. And you just want to slap them with a chair. No.
And that's what was one of my points with the demonstrative. Like, I love my Second Amendment. I am not an expert in that area either. However, I have enough, like, we have something that fits this. Like, this fits into something that I own. Like, we, so I have enough knowledge I keep my side chick right here. Like, I have enough to know that, like, okay, when it says this and this and this, look at what you're actually talking about. Like, look how small, even something that's really big, that's what she said.
Yeah.
It's small in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a very, like, I'm not perfect, but, I'm just a layperson at the end of the day. I'm just a person who tries to have common sense. Tries.
That's the thing.
Doesn't always work.
Yeah, all I know is the difference between 5.56 and 7.12 caliber. I mean, that's the NATO standards. Or the 7 and above is the old standard of 5.56, and the 5.56 millimeters.
That's a 300 blackout. That's my bestie.
Oh.
That's my favorite thing. That's my favorite round in the world. Goes to my favorite, my favorite friend in the world. My personal protection.
So, are they still moving to get the prosecutors thrown off from this case?
No, that's been denied.
Okay.
Today they were talking about moving the preliminary hearing because he still hasn't put in a plea. 8 months later.
Oh.
Yeah, the preliminary hearing was set for May.
Thank you. 7.62 is a 30 caliber. Okay. Why? Is it the freedom measurements? 7.62 millimeters. That's not 3. I mean,
that's.
Is it 30% of an inch? No.
30 or. Yeah.
The funniest gun I've ever, it's the Swedish M50 machine gun. That's a fun thing too. That goes poof, 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 very, very, very loud, and things go gone in the other end.
I have rounds from a what we called an R2D2, It was a CWIS, close-in weapon system, off of a carrier.
Oh, cool.
It was, I think, 3,000 rounds a minute. It basically sounds like a and like, and I got empty casings from it somewhere in the attic. But
you should make like a little like garland light, like put twinkle
I only
lights
have
in
2. But
oh, doggone it.
yeah.
Okay, then chandelier or
I have some
sconces.
50 caliber cases too, but 50 calibers were like a dime a dozen on chip. So, you know. But Kathy Nestor was the least of the defenses. The California lawyers. Well, and I didn't even watch the whole thing because once they got into the excluding the media, like I had to go. We needed to eat dinner, take a ride in the new truck. Like I couldn't sit there anymore. I'm like, sorry guys, I can't do this. Can't sit here anymore. But
are the California lawyers coming in because of the amount of discovery, or is there a California component that requires them to be there, or are they just helping?
they're just there.
This is the or it's a KSP 58. That's fun. It's been around since 1958 and still works. Still used.
Is she
Oh,
go ahead.
No. Keep going.
It's got to be political. Because one of the California lawyers today said something to the judge, and he was like, he said something, and he was like, I don't mean to. And then he wanted to say, he used the word Trump, but he meant it in the word like, Trump card or like this Trump's. And he was like, I don't mean to mean it like that in our political or in the environment we're in. And the judge looked at him like, and I had to stop because I was like, he just literally like, no matter where you are, no one cares. Like, but tell me you're from California without telling me is you couldn't even use the word Trump in a sentence that didn't involve the president without making it political.
Yes. Okay. We get it. You don't like Orange Man, whatever you feel about him. But contextually, you should know. I mean, that's just being sanctimonious, because context clues would tell you that you're using a colloquialism rather than this administration sucks.
It was like, oh yeah, they're death penalty. That's right, mispronounced name. You're right. Oh. They're death penalty experts. No. I did some Googling on one of them, Novak. And he's a death penalty expert. That's right. It's been a long day. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine. Because is their death penalty more ideologically based because they feel like the justice system is inherently unfair? Or is it they don't like the government controlling it? Because I think their philosophy behind being anti-death penalty does kind of give you an idea of where they're coming at it from, either politically or spiritually or morality wise.
I have no idea. My guess would be politically, but
no.
But these guys don't seem like Novak doesn't seem like the most Christian person in my mind.
Well, but I don't want to assume people, so I'm trying to figure out. But it is interesting to me to see how people come to their feelings about that and then see how that influences their dealings with the court, because I think that sometimes your stance on that, if you are a lawyer that focuses on death penalty cases, you can lose sight of maybe reality a little bit because you are so anti-death penalty that you can start to bend the facts to try to make all of your clients look like they were just poor innocent victims of fate.
It just seems like, I don't know, there's just some stuff that's not adding up. But it just seems like these attorneys, like Novak can't answer a question from the judge to save his life. like he is one of those witnesses when you ask a yes or no question, gives you like a 60-word answer without actually saying yes or no in any of those words. The judge said, well, what do you need to be prepared? The data. Well, what about the data? And he like gave him a roundabout answer. And it's like, if I were the judge, I would have been like, I asked you a yes or no question. Well, like, I want a yes or no answer. And it just seems like they're trying to delay and they're taking things out of order. Like, I am not a lawyer. God forbid I'd ever become a lawyer. Bless this country. What would happen to it if someone let me into law school?
Well, one thing that I listened to, listened is a strong word in this, but it's about when the defense asked for the data when it comes to the DNA sequencing here. They want the data that's inside these programs that spits out the summary from the FBI or from whatever's. But the problem here is those programs are more or less, what do you call it? Patented. Proprietary.
Yeah.
Which means, for me, if you have to keep that secret, you can't use it because the foundation is gone if you can't show what the program actually is and have
Could they have a closed hearing in which the algorithms were discussed and then not released to the public?
In theory, yes. Yeah, in theory, yes. But the manufacturer or the owner of that proprietary will fight tooth and nail because they're making a fuck ton of money.
It also seems like they want the DNA evidence so they can scrutinize it before a probable cause hearing.
Yeah.
And why we've waited 8 months for a probable cause hearing?
Yeah, that's strange.
Does it seem to you guys that this judge seems very too nice? He's nearly Canadian. I want him to yell at them for not being done with something. I am tired of hearing there's 100 terabytes. You know this. You took the case. I don't have sympathy for you. Ask for more interns. Ask for more help. You knew what you were getting into.
Kind of sick of them going, well, there's so much media attention on it. The witness that they brought in when I said I'm done with this was a guy from California who was talking about he was looking at the ratio of positive media to negative, and it reminded me of Amber Heard.
Oh, that guy, I don't know why he was there. If it is, we can't have cameras in the courtroom. Well, he made a very good argument for cameras in the courtroom so you can avoid these wild speculations that are out there. No, you can't avoid wild speculations anyway, but now other people can say, no, that's not what was said. Look here, and here's a clip of what was actually said.
Then do we think the defense's strategy is going to be to feed whether, kind of under the surface, this narrative of conspiracy theories? Because it does kind of fit with the way they engaged with Corey Richins' tale. That was a conspiracy.
Or they don't want to be ridiculed, as they were in the Corey Richins trial.
Picked a different career then.
I mean, I personally, if I were them, I would lean into the conspiracy theories because I would use that as a reason to inject reasonable doubt. Is look at all these other theories that are out there, and that you can use that to inject reasonable doubt, which is one of the reasons that I hate the conspiracy theories because I'm like, let the court sort it out.
I do think if they were able to handle it well, but I think it will devolve into Brokeback Moorman with Kathy Nestor. I think it could be done well, but will it be done well by them? No.
Yeah, based on how they acted in the Corey Richins trial, I would not hire them for trial work. Now, in the pre-trial, because I was expecting a really good defense in the Core Richards trial after what was going on, because they fought tooth and nail every step of the way, pre-trial. And then at trial, we discovered none of them could think on their feet. Because every question had to be prepared, and she didn't care what the witness actually said. She just went on with the next question, which is
Well, yeah, and
not good.
the trick would be to pick conspiracies that are probable, not,
Yeah.
the ridiculous ones, nothing about
They had a
booze.
gay relationship. No, it was friends bantering.
Yeah, so again, you would have to pick out the ones that have more to it, especially like the older gentleman who was trying to distract police.
Yeah.
Well, what did the police look at for this person? I mean,
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk was not without people who didn't dislike him, that kind of thing. But do I think it will be done correctly and not like a joke? I don't. And that's what's worrying me, is that it's going to be done like a farce, and then there's never going to be an end to this trial.
I mean, the trial itself is at least a year away, because they are asking for 4 months now. Yeah, now. I would be surprised if 4 months from now is August. There will be evidentiary issues, there will be depositions, there will be this, that, and there will be witnesses who doesn't want to be there, and all the things. And once they get a hold of all the discovery, let's try to nuke that one. I would say at least a year.
I would imagine so. Now, also, how are they going to figure out which witnesses they want? I mean, the state has a lot of paring down to do, sorry. Because they essentially said that all 3,000 people that were there could essentially be considered material witnesses and
except
victims.
except the prosecutor's daughter,
Well,
for lack of a. we're all clear.
I do hope. Have we checked out, with Letitia being so fresh and recent, have we checked out that there is not going to be any sort of hiccup because of the prosecutor's daughter being there? I mean, that's also another worrying thing to me. I mean,
See, if I were him, I would have recused myself from the situation. I would have been like, "Don't talk to me. I don't want to know. Y'all go to someone else if you need anything. I'm just gonna separate myself to reduce any appearance of impropriety."
Yeah.
And that's what didn't happen. And it was as much as I thought that it was okay, don't disqualify the whole prosecutor's office because of that. At the same time, it was that's a really bad optic. And when you're dealing with a case this public, the optics unfortunately matter.
Yeah, definitely. If I were the defense, that would be a name on my witness list. Definitely. Because of next stage. Because if Mr. Robinson gets convicted, prosecutor's daughter was in the audience. He was biased. We called her as a witness. And imagine the optics. Well, who's going to cross-examine her?
That's a really good point.
Yeah, and as a parent, I would be very honest. If my child was in one of these situations, I couldn't divorce myself from it. There would always be that moment when I got the call that situation was going on, and that split second where I didn't know what my kid was, safe or not. And that for me would be too emotional. I would have a personal stake in the case because my daughter, for whatever amount of Schrodinger's time, was possibly hurt or no longer here. And that's
I can't even imagine right now. My daughter's 3. And like when she went in that, I was outside doing something and she went in the house to be with her dad. And I didn't hear her open the door and go in the house. And I had no idea where she was. I panicked. And that was only like 45 seconds. I cannot even imagine what it would be like. Like I don't
Yes.
look,
So
I look forward to the day when she, you know, gets a little older and like goes to friends' houses by herself and like goes to school and stuff like that. However, I am still dreading that day because I have never been away from her.
yeah, so I don't think that it's beyond, I think it would have just looked better for him to say, you know what, having evaluated, I can't divorce myself from this. I wish I could. But out of abundance of caution, with this being a big case, I'm going to step back. I believe that my team can go forward, and do a great job. But, out of abundance of caution, I'm just going to step back.
Yeah, that's a giant shit show in the making that has yet to have a resolution.
Well, because Nestor's going to bring it up, but she's not going to bring it up until, again, she's going to let it fester until the day of trial, like she did with a bunch of things in Corey Bridgens. Like, oh, well, we have a motion for this. You didn't say anything about it.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we're going to get a lot of those shenanigans in this trial, and it's going to piss people off.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. But it's a tactic. I mean,
yeah. I think the judge is already like he was starting to get some serious deep lines, like trying to not show his hand. It was getting